My name is Sam. Welcome back to Booksmart. We got week 13 of the NFL season coming up tomorrow, so let's dive right in. Make sure you get your sunglasses, though, because we're wearing a tank top today, baby. Hey, I did a few, I was lifting the 15s a little bit. I felt a little good, so I wanted to wear a little tank top. But make sure you get them sunglasses. Don't strain your eyes with this pastiness. So let's get right in. We're going to start off with Jordan Love over over 15.5 rushing yards. This is at -105 on PointsBet. He had 39 rushing yards last week on Thanksgiving versus the Detroit Lions, and he's facing up against a Kansas City defense tomorrow that ranks second in pressure percentage and fifth in hurry percentage. So there's going to be times, he's going to be flushed out of the pocket, have to run. And on top of that, how is Jordan Love going to handle this cold weather up in Green Bay? It's going to be people's balls going to be just absolutely falling off with how cold it's going to be. It's going to feel like -20 up there in Green Bay with 5 to 10 mile per hour winds. So how is Jordan Love going to handle that? We don't know how he's handled cold weather yet. This is going to be our first taste in seeing that. On top of that, the Kansas City secondary, they are ranked third best in the league in yards per game giving up. They're only giving up 176.6 passing yards per game and only a 61.6% completion percentage. So you're going to see a lot of times that Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs, they're going to be locked up downfield, and Jordan Love, with this pressure from Christian Jones, he's going to have to run the football, and I think he's going to get 17 rushing yards in this game. KC only allows 17.5 rushing yards per game to quarterbacks, which is not great, but I think the matchup he is going to hit this. Might be barely, it might be late, but I think he's going to get it. I think he's going to get 17 to 18 rushing yards in this matchup. So give me Jordan Love over 15.5 rushing yards versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's head now to the Big Easy, and this is going to be an easy cover for the Detroit Lions, in my opinion. -4 versus the New Orleans Saints at -110 on FanDuel. I know the Lions have fallen off since their bye week. This is a great bounce back spot, for Detroit after their embarrassing loss to the Packers on Thanksgiving. I think they're going to come back hard because we don't want to see back-to-back weeks Dan Campbell crying on the sideline, dude. I don't think the Lions want to see that. Nobody wants to see Dan Campbell shed some tears again on the sideline. So I think they're going to come into New Orleans and they're going to get this thing done fairly easy. The Lions are 4-1 on the road ATS this season, and the New Orleans Saints, they're winless at home ATS. And since 2020, only a 34.5%. New Orleans is only covering ATS 34.5% in the past 3 seasons. That is third worst in that span. I think the Lions go in. This is a great bounce back spot for Detroit. I think they're going to get this thing done by a touchdown at least. I think this -4 is a little too low, so I'm going to grab the Lions here. Maybe it's a trap. I think the books are adjusting to how bad the Lions have been these past few weeks, but I think this is when they right the ship in New Orleans. So give me the Detroit Lions -4 versus the New Orleans Saints. And this one is really seducing me right now. I am going with, where's it at? Where's he at? We are going with Christian McCaffrey over 4.5 receptions at -105 on ESPN Bet. This seems too good to be true. Christian McCaffrey has had 5+ receptions in 4 straight games this season, and the Philadelphia Eagles, they're middle of the pack in receptions allowed to running backs. They allowed James Cook to have 6 receptions last week for the Bills, and his season average is 3. So they let him double his season average in that game. I know they got the 49ers -3, so maybe they're thinking that the 49ers aren't going to use McCaffrey in the passing game much because they're going to be leading. Dude, even if they are leading in this game, it's not going to be by much, and they are going to be humbled early if they try to run this football on this Philadelphia defense, who they're 4th best in the league in yards allowed on the ground. So Kyle Shanahan knows you got to get Christian McCaffrey involved in this game if you want to get an upset. Well, it's not really an upset, but in my opinion, it is an upset in Lincoln Financial Field. And if the run game is not working, you need to get Christian McCaffrey involved in what? The pass game. So I really think that this is an easy over for me. It's almost at plus odds. And you know that McCaffrey's not going to be successful running up the gut. They're going to have to use him in a different way, and that different way is going to be through the air. So I think this is an easy over 4.5. I'm a little scared by it because I was really expecting this to be over 5.5 at plus odds, but it's at over 4.5. negative 105. So and it's almost plus odds over 4.5, but I really think that C-Mac is going to get 5 to 6 receptions in this game. It's just going to be that type of matchup. Done it in 4 straight. He had in 2 of those 4, he had 6 receptions. So I think McCaffrey is going to maybe not crush this. I think he'll get 5 to 6 receptions in this game. They will make sure he gets involved. So give me Christian McCaffrey here over 4.5 receptions on ESPN Bet. My favorite one out of all these 3 is probably the Detroit Lions -4. If I had to pick a favorite, if I had to slap like 200 grand on something, if someone had a gun to my head and said slap 200 grand on one of these, I would probably take the Detroit Lions -4 versus the Saints. But I honestly am very confident in all 3 of these bets. We'll see what happens tomorrow. This has been Booksmart, and I'll talk to you guys later.